Okay, in this video clip we're going to look quickly at how to draw some really basic circuit diagrams. So if you had to draw this circuit here, essentially I would always start with the power source, so be that a battery or a power pack. It looks like we've got a battery here. So if we've got a single cell battery, so those little cylinder shaped batteries, we say they're a single cell, we draw that with a short line and a longer line. And the longer line always represents the positive terminal, so we could put the little plus there. So here we've got a battery, so I'll start at one end of the battery, and here we go into, and then we come out of another battery. So I will draw, basically coming out of this, we go straight into another battery, or another cell. Single cell battery. So my lines are a little bit wonky. Obviously you might want to use a ruler. These should all be nice and perfect and straight, and you got to make sure you don't have any gaps either. So here I've got my two batteries, or my two cells, and coming out of this one we follow this line around and I go into a bulb. Now to give myself a bit of space, there's no reason I could put the bulb right here, but just to give myself a bit of space I'm going to come down and around. And a bulb we simply draw as a circle with a cross through it. Alright, so once we've gone through the bulb here, we've got a wire coming out of the other side that simply connects back to our original battery. So I come out here, and I'm just going to go up and across. And so if I'd done the same thing but put the bulb on the side or on the side over here, it wouldn't matter. When a teacher's marking these, what they're really looking for is kind of the order or the sequence. So one battery, another battery, going through a bulb and returning back to the original battery. So if you've drawn that, even if it's a slightly different position, or if you've drawn it on its side or something like that, that would be completely fine. Okay, the other thing that's worth mentioning here is if one of these batteries was 1.5 volts, most of the little cylinder shaped ones are, if we have two, then we're going to gain 1.5 and another 1.5, so the total voltage gain here would be 3 volts. We'd be picking up 3 volts. Alright, looking at, let's go across and do this one here, this next one. We've got a battery again, so I'll draw my short line and my long line. And coming out of the battery we go through one bulb, so I'll go across and I'll come down and I'll draw it here. Again, I could have drawn it on the line going across at the top, or I could have curved around and drawn it on the bottom. And then we've got a wire coming out the other side, and we go through another bulb, so I'll put that maybe coming up on the other side. There's no reason I couldn't have done that down the bottom here. That really doesn't matter. And then we essentially just go straight back to the battery. So a very simple series, what we'd call a series circuit. And again, the position of the bulbs doesn't matter as long as the order of things is correct. So we're coming out of the battery, through one bulb, through another bulb, and back to the same battery in a single kind of loop. Alright, going on to the third one down here, a little bit more complicated. But again, follow that same simple sort of process. So we've got a battery, drawing the battery here, and follow the wire out, and it comes to, we've got kind of a branch here. Notice we've got a branch here. It goes into the bulb, but it also comes out up and around, and goes to this doohickey here, which is probably a voltmeter. So what we do is we'll come across like this, and I'll come down, and at some point we've got a branch before I draw anything, because if we split here we can go into the bulb, or we can split down and go through that other wire. So we'll draw one going this way, so I've drawn in my split, and so it's important we do that before we do anything else. Now I'll follow the bulb pathway, so this one goes to a bulb. And that's a terrible looking bulb, but that'll do. So we go through the bulb, and coming outside the other side of the bulb, again we've got a split. We've got two pathways we could go. We could come out this way, or we could go out to the battery. So again I'm going to make a little T intersection here, a little junction. Okay, and so one pathway takes us happily back to the battery. So we just go all the way around and back to the other side of the battery. So you can see there's a loop here. We come out of the battery and through the bulb and back to the battery. And I've drawn that already here. Out one end, through the bulb and back to the battery. But then we've got clipped onto that at those bits where it branches. It branches off here and it goes through a voltmeter. And we know it's a voltmeter because it's clipped on. It's not in the circuit with something else. And then it joins onto that branch here. So this is drawing, maybe I'll use a different color real quick. So this loop here, that's kind of clipped on to either side of the bulb here, you can see is clipped on here to either side of the bulb here. So this is our voltmeter. Okay, so there you've got the first loop, the bulb, and then those bits where it branches either side of the bulb, we stick on our voltmeter. So let's do the last one. Grab my red again. So we start with the battery, a single cell battery here, coming out one end, and then again I've got a point here where it branches. So let's come out and let's go down. And branches, the easiest way to do branches is to say like carry on going straight but then put something coming off the side like that. And so let's do the first bulb first. So we just come down through here, through this bulb. So we come through a bulb, a lamp, out the other side. You can see here out the other side, and oh, we've got a point where it branches again. So make my branch, we'll go up and down in this case. Alright, and it goes back to the battery. So that's coming back to the battery here. Okay, so we've drawn that first loop, and then now, again I'll show that in a different color, we've got stuck on, there's a bit where it branches off here and it goes through a bulb. And joins on just after the other bulb. So here's the point where it branched off and it goes through a bulb and then it joins on again to the circuit after the first bulb. And so the length of each line, whether it's longer or shorter before or after the branch, again none of that matters. A teacher would be marking this, would be looking for a battery, a single loop with a battery and a bulb in it, and clipped onto joining somewhere before and after that bulb, another little loop with a bulb in it. That would be a good representation of this circuit here. So hopefully you found that helpful, and we'll answer some of the next questions in the next video.